cedar. It's pretty much spread throughout its range. It does seem to. There's a track going into Coos Bay, and I've been watching it for 30 years, and every year there's more trees dying. But if it's been going on for 30 years, it means that more trees are growing. I guess Oregon State has raised a resistant tree, Port Orford cedar tree, and I guess it's been planted by the Forest Service here and there.
Well, that's good to hear.
Yeah. So, but I really haven't heard too much about it. The private landowner doesn't want anything to do with it. He won't replant Port Orford cedar because it will probably die.
That'd be like that's like on the East Coast planting chestnut.
Yeah.
You know,
like,
it doesn't make it.
It doesn't make any. Chestnut's probably the same. Grows up so much and then all it dies.
Yep. And most of what's growing in chestnut is sprouts from old stumps. That's what you'll see in the forest. Now, the odd one you'll see might get 15 feet tall. Then it's over.
Yeah. Port Orford cedar will get maybe 20 years old or something.
Oh, and that's when it kicks in?
Yeah, or sooner. I mean, it just depends on the stand. You can see, 2-year-old trees dying. You can see 200-year-old trees dying. Some of it still survives, so I don't know. I mean, you go up in the forest and see stands of green Port Orford cedar too. So it's just one of those things. I don't know. There doesn't seem to be any way to stop it, really. I mean, they say it's a water-borne disease.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
I was wondering how it spread.
But the animals, I guess, can spread it in their hooves, wet soil in the hooves or whatever. Or down water drainages, they say it spreads.
I wonder if it's always been there, but there's some other factor causing it to suddenly become more active, or if it's something that was introduced from elsewhere.
They say it was introduced, but I've talked to other people that think it's probably been here all the time because they found, really old stands that were dead from it or something. But it seems like road activity and logging activity certainly exaggerates it or makes it worse. And it's kind of interesting, and I'm waiting to see, the Forest Service has been doing a lot of thinning on their ground, but they've been leaving the Port Orford cedar, and I'm kind of curious to see if it survives or whether it will be impacted by the thinning around it, cause it to die.
Do you think it's a tree that's pretty sensitive to its roots being roughed up at around the base of the trunk? Because I know some trees are bothered.
So, because I've seen it really, out of the cliff growing or by the road, and it's kind of interesting because, like I was saying, a lot of the wood we get's wood that they left the first time they logged.
Right.
And so it had been disturbed quite a bit, and it's not managed to survive.
So the wood you're talking about that's sometimes reclaimed, is it stuff they left because it was either too big to drag up the valley or too small to bother with?
Too small to bother with.
Because on Vancouver Island you'll see places where trees were left because they were too heavy they fell the wrong way and they just couldn't get them and they left them.
You see a little bit of that, but they've been around here enough times that somebody eventually figures
out a way.
And it has enough value.
What about is there much of it for old buildings or wooden bridges and bridge abutments and stuff like that?
I've heard a little bit of that, but I haven't really seen it. They had some tunnels up here with Coos Bay to Eugene Railroad.
Oh yeah.
And the trestles in the tunnels were made out of Port Orford cedar. And I know a few years back people were getting quite a bit of that. I even saw some last year.
Oh, is that right?